Last time you saw us, we were at London's Borough Market with food writer Ed Smith. Now, we're back in Berlin in one of our next 125 kitchens, where Ed's going to show us a recipe inspired by the produce we picked out.
Oh, this is my curse, trying to get everything on my fork and never quite making it work.
We're going to make a Sellerie-Kartoffel-Rösti, Kimchi-Butter and simple Onglet-Steak, which is going to have all the flavours from the kimchi doused over it at the end. I like eating this on its own.
Yeah, me too. It's alive.
It's alive. Just take the kimchi out. You don't have to waste the flavour and keep it going for a bit. I slice carrots thinly and put it in there.
I think I caught that on your Instagram story.
You could also make dressings with it.
Right.
We've got a block of butter, it's about 250 grams. I think you need about 175 grams of kimchi mixed into that, but it doesn't really matter too much. Can we have a pick? Is that?
Yeah.
May as well taste what goes in and tell me what you think. There's a load going on. And we're aiming for around 175 grams of kimchi for a 250 gram block of butter. All we have to do now is whiz this up and then whiz the butter into it.
Right.
Sounds simple. Whiz it up. So we want it to be super smooth, but it's not the end of the world if it's a bit choppy. It just means your butter's going to have chopped bits of kimchi through it, just to get the mix going. That is a quick job. Spread in some butter, taste it, put it in the fridge.
Excellent.
My mouth was too big. So onto the Rösti, number of ingredients here. We've got celeriac, which we can use about half of that. About 300 or 400 grams of waxy-ish potato, some eggs and some flour to bind it, some salt to season it. And this is just a fairly simple, basic attempt at a Rösti.
Yeah.
And we're going to have potato in there as well because celeriac's very, very watery. If you just had that on its own, it wouldn't probably ever crisp up in the way that we want it. We're going to put the potato in with the celeriac, salt them, which is going to help to start draw water out, and also season it so when you've got this cooked item.
Right from within, rather than adding it in the end because that'll do nothing.
Salt to the celeriac and potato, which will help to start to draw out moisture.
You can have a Rösti sous chef as well. I feel like it's not a dish you cook alone. It's, you know, grating dishes are always, you need a partner.
We're going to line a colander.
Yep.
So the salted celeriac and potato into a clean cloth, squeeze it out. We could leave it for a bit and squeeze it some more.
And you can kind of see that you're doing it successfully. It's a satisfying process.
It's very satisfying. Just going to decant that into the bowl. So we just need to put some binding ingredients in there now. A couple of medium-sized eggs, probably get away with one, but this will be good too. And then a couple of tablespoons of plain flour. So we're going to take tennis ball-sized handfuls, wash them down into patties like burgers. Okay, one thing you could do as well if you're doing this across the day, put these in the fridge and cook them later on. When people are home and then suddenly it doesn't feel like you spent half an hour making it.
I think we've been quicker than half an hour, much quicker.
Guys can tell us on the camera, can't they?
Yeah.
Frying, let's cook them up. Heavy bottom frying pan is important for this one because they're going to be cooking for a while. So let's start slow in some cooking oil. Pan's warming up, so we can put them in. One thing to think about it breaks up as it goes in, but what we're going to do is make sure there's enough space to cook them in one pan. So we're only going to cook 4, so you and me, 2 each. I will compress them a bit for the first 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. We're not going to turn them because we want to get a nice crisp base, and if we tried to turn them now, we'd get lots of gratings.
So we're going to wait for the key moment to flip.
Like I said, we want it to be warm and you can hear it starting to cook now, but not so hot that it's going to burn the edges. So we're pretty much at that kind of done stage. We've got nice golden edges, should be soft in the middle. Fingers crossed, it's been about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to get the Kimchi-Butter, just to really amp up the flavour. When I do Rösti, normally I'll probably add just normal butter and get some brown butter at the end. So we do just want a last minute drop of the butter into the pan, let it bubble around, flip it over, add a bit more butter.
Maximum flavour.
Yeah, exactly. So when that last bit of butter goes, I think this is done. Can you smell it? I want to not overcook the butter because then we're going to not have the same flavour. We've got a really nice onglet, which is the same cut of meat we saw at the market with Dom, but there's loads and loads of flavour to it. Everyone's wise to it as well now, onglet hanger steak. It's got quite a lot of sinew to it, but there's so much flavour. If we cook it relatively quickly, but to a medium rare, it's going to be super juicy, loads of flavour. It's going to really stand up to the kimchi.
Yes.
And it's going to be a great little steak. Butcher has already butterflied it for us, which means it came looking like that, and then I cut it down the middle. And the benefit of this is it means that it's going to cook at a reasonably similar temperature throughout. You see that there's all that sort of marbling and the sinew in there. That's why I'm keeping the steak at this length, and we'll slice it like this.
Across the grain.
It means that the steak is easy to eat. Pan on. So we'll let that warm up really hot. Just some cooking oil in there now. As soon as it feels hot, I'll put it in and hopefully it'll start frying straight away. It's quite thin, so I think probably about overall 2 to 3 minutes on each side. A, make sure your steak is seasoned. B, put it onto a hot pan. C, then don't touch it, because that's going to start to create those lovely brown colours and flavours. And then we'll start to think how it's cooking. If it's nice and puffing up and starting to firm up, then we'll add some butter at that point, and probably about another 45 seconds of each side, take it off. I like to cook steaks using a tongs. I think it sort of allows you to pick it up, but like I said, don't touch it.
We're not touching it.
Don't touch it.
What are you looking for in the pan as that?
A, we had that minute on each side. B, if I touch it, it's still really loose. People sort of say that middle finger is what you want to feel when you get a medium rare steak. Now I think we can put the Kimchi-Butter in. I'm going to let it brown more than we have with the Rösti, just because it's going to. And maybe we add a little bit of butter at the end.
Bit more butter to finish?
So, not joking. It will lose its flavour as it's cooked.
Liquid gold.
Liquid gold. Give it 4 or 5 minutes to rest. It won't be too cold. Hopefully we've got a nice medium rare steak.
It's looking promising.
Right, so the steak's resting. We've got Sellerie-Rösti on the side, but I think we need something else to cut through those flavours. And we're going to make a very quick parsley salad. Leaves off that parsley. You don't have to be too dainty. You don't have to chop it. Raw onion in. Shallots, so it's a bit sweeter. With a bit of salt, half a lemon, so it's going to be really lovely. Some nice extra virgin olive oil.
And then one of my favourite ingredients is about to go in, capers.
Capers, I love a caper. Okay, so they've got the parsley salad's made, Rösti is still warm, steak is done and rested. Hopefully, let's say around a medium. Got a lovely, strong flavoured cut of meat, which we know the butcher, we know that it's a lovely, like full flavoured piece of meat, which is going to match the kimchi, really homely Sellerie-Rösti, but more kimchi there, and then the lemon and the capers and the parsley to cut through.
Well, now we're just going to finish the rest off camera.
It's a tough job.